Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the first ever episode of a 1v1 country game. This time it's a little bit different though. It's Turkey versus Serbia, the ultimate rivals. Who will win? Who knows? But today we have a twist. We're not watching the AI face-off, we're watching two very competent Hoi 4 meta players play off against each other. We have the Spy Crab playing in Serbia and the LOL playing in Turkey. Now, they are in a completely equal scenario, same factories, same manpower, similar-ish resources, and it's up to the players to see which country will survive. Now, they've both been briefed on their national pride. The Spy Crab has been listening to Remove Kebab 10-hour version for probably the last few days, and the LOL has of course been sampling in the local delicacies of Turkey. Now, these are two very good players, so don't worry, but your national pride is in their hands, because today we're going to see which country is better. Should Serbia win, then I'm afraid all Turkish people, you're just going to have to accept that Serbia is the strongest nation. And of course, should the Turkish people win, well then Serbia, I'm afraid you're just going to have to give up. You've lost. You're going to have to remove the song Remove Kebab. But anyway, this is only just the beginning. Let's get the lowdown on the countries. In the left corner we have Serbia. Let's see what they have to offer. Serbia is a beautiful land full of wonderful things, including an interesting history. This is Serbia in 1350, or rather the Serbian Empire. Pretty nice. However, it's not really much of an empire today, and it has some interesting rivals. For example, it wants to join the EU. But then again, so does Turkey. That makes Serbia think a lot. But of course, we do like seeing an expanded Serbia, and it's quite a nice meme. Do you support Greater Serbia? Who knows, maybe all Serbs do, maybe no Serbs do. And of course, most importantly, where did Macedonia go again, Mr. Serbia? Well, nobody knows, but anyway, that's Serbia. Now let's take a look at Turkey. Turkey is a beautiful country, full of beautiful and wonderful cultures, and a very interesting story to tell. Turkey is a nation of strong and powerful military history, so it'll be very interesting to see how they hold up today. Naturally, that's it, our two countries have been summarized, but the most important question is, who do you think is going to win? So please do tell me in the comments down below. If you think Turkey's going to win, then why not consider giving the video a like? And if you think Serbia's going to win, then why not consider giving the video a like? It's a win-win success system, ladies and gents, and I'm afraid it's the only way to stay afloat when Fortnite is the only thing proving successful. Anyway, enough of this setup, let's dive straight into this game. Now, I decided to give our wonderful players a few years to set up their country. To be more specific, they had until one of them said they were ready, or we hit 1938, which I thought was, a nice appropriate time to start World War II, or at least the Serbian-Turkish version of it. Now, as you can see, the players are setting up their strategies. Now, I was deliberately not telling each player any of the information I was discovering, but it was interesting to see that Serbia went for a very passive defensive approach for their first game plan. Turkey, on the other hand, was they were all about making sure they had some naval invasions prepared. As you can see, Serbia garrisoned all their ports, they did that quite correctly, and of course manned the front line against Istanbul, because everyone guessed that this might be a bit of a bridgehead, but who knows, it might not be. Now, Turkey. They're going to be the ones that are definitely going to be making the first move here. Turkey has been building up their navy, however the Serbian Empire have been doing the same. However, Turkey was the first to reach both Fighter II and Battleship II before the war started. Anyway, here we go, we're ready for the war. It immediately kickstarts with, this is 3 naval invasions. 3 separate naval invasions, one on Athens and one on the port to the south of Greece. And both proved to be unsuccessful, I'm afraid. However, one successful invasion of Crete places Turkey quite firmly in the lead. Now, neither Serbia or Turkey will make a move on the capital, but this is where we see the real turning point of the war. The Battle of Rhodes, this is the first and major naval battle of the war, immediately initiates with the Battleship II getting in range of the Serbian destroyers and sinking all 25 of them. Good God, at the loss of course, 14 destroyers, but oh my god, With all the light cruisers being lost on the Serbian side, this is definitely a Turkish victory, or at least it's shaping up to be that way. However, the battleships haven't really engaged in combat yet. They're about to begin engaging in combat, and when that happens, the tide could change. Oh my god, 2 of the Serbian battleships are on the retreat here, ladies and gents, 3 of them, and 2 of them have just been sunk. That is 2 of the Serbian battleships completely out of commission. Oh my good lord. There we have it, ladies and gentlemen. The entire Serbian fleet has been sunk. Naval dominance goes to Turkey. With that, they can keep doing their naval invasions without any question, as well as doing amazing shore bombardments. But of course, the war becomes even more successful when the Turks make a fake invasion, well, naval invasion, to the port to the north of this little Peloponnese island, and whilst the garrison AI decides to deploy over there, they stage a second invasion on the main port, which is completely uncontested, landing 10 divisions of highly trained Turkish troops in the south of Greece. And with a foothold now in Greece, the battle turns to the skies as we see the Turkish Air Force face off against the Serbian Air Force. Now, the Turkish Air Force does have 1,000 planes, whereas the Serbians are only able to handle around about 714. But the Serbians still have the advantage because their airports are in a better position to fight over the skies of Greece. But now we start seeing a turn as the invading troops suddenly get enough supply and morale to start pushing out. This is the beginning of the end for Serbia in the south of Greece. Unless they can somehow get enough men down there to keep those divisions pinned, it's going to be a very, very tricky fight to take back Greece. Oh, and here we go. Yep. Look at that, glorious success. The Turkish people have managed to grab 2 ports, which lowers the supply in Greece for the Serbians. Luckily, not enough for them to completely cut them off, but what you'll notice here is there's a naval invasion planned. Oh my good god, look at this. This is going to be the greatest encirclement of all time. And there you go, the Turkish division just jumped behind the Serbian lines, which was completely undefended, allowing them to immediately cut off the Serbian troops already fighting in the south of Greece. Now, all Turkey needs to do is keep that one division there pinned so that it can cut off the supply lines, whilst its men work their way around the side and get one of the best encirclements I have ever seen. This has been an absolutely glorious fight in Greece. Oh my god, there you go. The encirclement begins. 15 divisions, all cut off in the south of Greece. Nowhere to go, and that's it. That's them gone. An incredible amount of casualties. The war is certainly going in someone's favour. Anyway, if you've been enjoying this video up to this point, make sure to give the video a like. It really does help me out, especially when YouTube decides to show none of my videos to my subscribers anymore. It's a good meme, but I love you, YouTube. You're just a bit broken at the moment. Anyway, as we can see, the Turkish people managed to do a surprise invasion of this airport. Once again, the plan was to cut off Athens, crush its supply lines, and then get an easy invasion. The only issue is, this time it was guarded by a very luckily laid out fallback line, which managed to cover this perfectly. And with that, the garrison forces are now able to reinforce, and so that naval invasion is just not going to work. And there you go, they've retreated. A wise decision there. But of course, why is no one attacking on the main front line at Istanbul? Well, this is why. You can just see that even though there can be a mass amount of forces, you just can't make any progress. The entrenchment, it's all way too high. Oh, and here we go. Battle of the Adriatic Sea. This is something interesting. There was a naval invasion going on, but the Serbian fleet sallied out and managed to grab the naval invasion. And even though the Turkish fleet was right there, the Turkish fleet for some reason didn't engage in the naval battle, meaning that naval invasion was completely sunk. Oh my god, what a devastating loss there. But of course the Turkish people are still ever so slightly in the lead. Oh, and there we go, they were able to get a naval invasion there, which landed successfully due to there not being a garrison. But this is quite possibly the greatest naval invasion I've seen, because at the moment Serbia has been able to hold the Turks quite happily in Greece, but now that they've picked up all of this, you might notice something's happening, because that state has suddenly flipped into Turkish control. Now what might they be doing? Well, at the moment the Turkish forces there don't have any supply, but that's all going to change, because you see the Turkish player is very intelligent, and so he decides to do something quite incredible. He decides to build a dockyard. That's right, ladies and gents, by building a port he can reinforce all of his supply lines. Also, the attack on Athens, it's going nowhere. It really is going nowhere. It is so difficult to take a push onto Athens. Oh, but there we go. The port has been completed. The Turkish troops are now getting full supply, and that will be them entrenched and protected for the entirety of this time here. Unless, I suppose, those divisions manage to take it back. No, they won't be able to. Hats off to you, Turkey. You've managed to secure a wonderful beachhead in Greece. But let's see what you can do with it, because some people, they get stuck, they get complacent, and they just can't progress anywhere past this. Are you different? Now, at the moment, many of you might be thinking, well, hang on a second, surely Turkey's winning, they've managed to secure more land. Well, you would be correct in that regard. However, Serbia has vastly more divisions deployed. As you can see, they have 113 when Turkey at the moment only has about 60. And of course, Serbia is still managing to hold on to Athens absolutely incredibly well, which gives them control of that entire region. But you might also notice they've kind of drawn up a battle plan line behind the river, which makes them very protected. So Turkey is secure in the south of Greece. They should be completely fine. Oh no. Oh no! The incredible Wonder General of the Turkish army has just become wounded. Now, if the Serbian player was aware of this, he would naturally probably launch a huge offensive, because that leader is insane. He's been offering some brilliant modifiers for the Turkish troops, and so if Serbia were to attack right now, they might be able to push them out. But of course they're not going to, because it's a bit difficult, and of course they don't know this information. But of course, the defense of Athens, it's going incredibly well. Look at that. All of those factories under Serbian control. I mean, of course, Turkey wants them, because if Turkey were to grab that, that's 2 military factories, 4 civilian factories. That would be incredible for a war effort. Not to mention any airports or radar stations that could then start getting built. Oh my. Now that Turkey's, they've gained 2 airports in Greece, this has allowed them to kind of move over a ridiculous amount of close air support. Oh god. So this is where something interesting happened. Serbia, detecting that there might be the end of a war, decides to unlock kamikaze pilots. Yeah. Oh my god. Bloody heck. So, a ridiculous amount of the Serbian Air Force is now getting shot down by the Battleship 2. It is doing some damage, but it's so tiny in comparison to everything else, because the Battleship 2 is just so powerful at shooting down aircraft. Yeah. Nice try, dive bombers. Well, suicide bombers actually. These are kamikaze pilots. That's not going to work, my friend. That's not going to work. Oh well, nice try, Hearts of Iron 4. Nice try. So yeah, Serbia is in a bit of a poor situation, I'd say, given the fact that they attempted this and they haven't even managed to sink 1 boat yet. As soon as 1 boat gets slightly damaged, it gets sent off. Oh, here we go, the Serbian fleet decides to come out. Oh, they've done a deck wipe. Very incredible there. Wow, very impressive. But the Turkish fleet still wins. Those battleships are too overpowered. It's an incredible naval battle, but I'm afraid, naturally, Turkey is still winning. That military history of Turkey with their navy, I mean, it's kind of non-existent, but evidently I'm mistaken. Serbia, of course, a nation of strong naval history, considering they don't have one. Oh, wow. Athens is just not going to fall. It's an absolute pain to take. They've got shore bombardment going on, they've got close air support bombing them, they've got ridiculous amounts of infantry attacking them. It's just not going to fall. Or maybe it will. Anyway, the Turkish people decide to use 20 width divisions to punch through the front line. Now, in this time, I'm afraid I didn't catch it, but Athens fell to the same 40 width divisions, and they just punch through all of the Serbian front line. They're incredible. The issue is they have a very low organisation, meaning that they can get pushed back quite easily, which is what we're seeing here. Yeah, so even though the Turkish people were able to push out, grab a few provinces on the front line, they're probably not going to be able to make too much of an impact from it, because those 20 width divisions, they require a ridiculous amount of supply and organisation. Oh, and of course, the Serbians show up with an artillery template. Yeah, here the Serbian guy decides to create a 40 width artillery assault template, and the issue is it's actually ridiculously powerful against the 40 width infantry stack of Turkey. Yeah, so Turkey has actually finally met their match, and they're now getting pushed off from the front line. Of course, the issue with the artillery templates is they can't take any damage, but by God can they give it. Look at that, like 400 soft attack a hit. It is incredible to watch. Either way, Turkey has not won that front line there. Yeah. Oh, and of course, this is where I should probably mention Turkey also decides to get kamikaze pilots and begins kamikaze bombing the Serbian supply line from America. Yeah. Oh, and Turkey is, of course, researching tanks, because Turkey sees an issue in this front line, and the issue is that there's a ridiculous amount of infantry, ridiculous amount of artillery, and standard infantry isn't going to cut it. What they need is heavy tanks to really get lots of breakthrough, power through those infantry divisions, and just waltz their way all the way into Belgrade. And so that's what he's researching, but will he have time to get there? Well, who knows. Either way, he's now begun an assault in the south of Greece, a really successful one in fact, against even the mountaineer divisions of Serbia. The mountaineer divisions are very powerful, but the issue is they're fighting against 40 width Turkish elite divisions. These guys are insane. They're also, they have the latest guns, whereas the Serbian divisions, a lot of them are still using regular, kind of like 1938 weapons. Not the most powerful, but you know, there's an attempt there. Once again, a state becomes under their control, and the Turks finally managed to get a radar set up, a level 4 radar giving them, wow, some pretty powerful air superiority. Now, this is where Turkey's plan for final domination begins. You might notice all of those strategic bombers in Greece. Yeah, there was about 800 of them. They are ridiculously powerful because strategic bombers, they can just nuke, and well, they can nuke, but they just absolutely nuke infrastructure. But this, the Turkish player is very experienced, so he knows not to target infrastructure. He has his strike bombers getting built up, and they're getting ready to prepare for a strike on the Serbian air bases. That's right. If these strategic bombers manage to wipe out the Serbian air bases, then the Serbian Air Force is trapped. Their airports won't be able to be operated, and their Air Force simply can't get up into the skies to even take out the strategic bombers. It is physically impossible to counter. An absolutely wonderful strat. And here we go. We're about to see in action. Oh, of course, Battle of the Adriatic Sea, the last fleet battle. A devastating loss for the Serbian and Turkish navies. If I'm being honest, neither side really benefited from that. But now the strategic bombers will begin their assault. Oh, and of course port strikes. So yeah, the Serbian navy gets port striked out of existence. Rest in peace. Here we go, the strategic bombers come into play. They finally come into play, and as soon as they come into play, all of the airfields of Serbia are wiped out of commission, and they can't take off, which is a bit of an issue for them, because that means the skies of Serbia belong to the Turks. After taking out all of the airfields, which you can see they're doing here, god yeah, it's fighter freeze versus fighter freeze, an absolutely incredible fight to watch. But yeah, the fighter freeze on the Turkish side are just inherently better in every regard, plus the increased strategic bombers. There we go, you can start seeing the repairs rack up, as well as getting the air doctrine. Oh my god, you can just see it ticking up there. Yep, all of the airfields in Serbia are now completely broken, meaning the Air Force can't take off, giving the strategic bombers free reign over all of Serbia. And also, to make the situation even better, Serbia didn't have any anti-air set up in the Balkans, meaning that any attempts to build anti-air is completely crushed by the fact that as soon as they're built, they're immediately wiped out by the ridiculous number of strategic bombers. There's just no counter. Look at all that repair list. Christ alive, look at that. All of those airfields gone, all of the infrastructure gone, the front line starting to fall, the anti-air is not going to be built in time. As you can see, the Serbian Air Force just trapped in their own airfields. You've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of fighter frees that really could be making a difference, but they just can't take off. There you go, ladies and gents. That's it. The Turkish people have managed to win it. After this point, the Serbian player basically rage quit because, I mean, look at this guy, there's just no way to win. The Turkish army then just waltzes in there because they wiped out all of the infrastructure, all of the military factories. Serbian army just gives up. They have no guns, they have no infrastructure, they have no supply, there's no air force backing them up. Rest in peace, Serbia. But of course, the most important question, ladies and gentlemen, what kind of peace deal are we going to get from this? You can see the civilian factories for Serbia are buggered at the moment. Oh, one last final defense of Belgrade. You've got to love it. It was a beautiful attempt, but I'm afraid it's not going to be enough because... Oh, look at those Turkish people. They're circling around. Yep, they're going to get the encirclement, and they've won it. Hats off to them. But what kind of peace deal are we going to get? Naturally, it is the Balkans, so you've got to Balkanize it, and everything's liberated. Oh my god. Oh, those borders. If you've enjoyed this video, please do give it a like. If you want more, please do subscribe and make sure to turn on notifications. Hope you all have a lovely day, and I'll see you all later. Hats off to you.